Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, March the 31st, 2023. Friday, March the 31st, 2023. Today's episode, confusing, definitely. I don't know where they're going, but let's talk about what happened. We have Ashley, she and Tucker left. Ashley was on a rant about Jack's announcement, and then they were complaining about the scotch he had. And, Tucker said, "You know what, Ashley? Why don't we get married?" And she's like, "Wait, what? Where's that coming from?" Uh, no, you know, oh, excuse me. She's like, "That's a hard pass." That's what I said. She didn't say that. But she was like, "No." And she goes, "Why would I do that?" And he goes, "Look, it would drive Jack crazy." And so Ashley looked at him. She goes, "Now, that's a thought." She's thinking, that's a thought. Watch, she's gonna marry Tucker. She wants to. Ashley's still in love with him. She's just trying to do this whole new angle of her being in charge, but she loves Tucker. Who can't love Chris? Um, what's his name? St. John. I'm thinking Trevor. Trevor St. John. He's excellent as Tucker to me. He just keeps things light. I laugh and I smile at him. I really do. And so she's saying, "Well, look, you still have to get Devon to buy your company." He goes, "I'm still trying, but I can't make him," because she goes, "I don't want the Newmans to get their hands on it." And Tucker's like, he doesn't either, right? So anyway, he's getting ready to leave because she goes, "I'm gonna wait up for Jack and Diane to get here so she can give them a piece of her mind." And Tucker's like, "You want me to stay? I'd be happy to stay with you." She goes, "As much as I would like an audience, I need some time to decompress before they get here." And then she's gonna let them have it. She goes, "Mamie's upstairs asleep, right? Mamie's gone. She had that one little guest appearance. Mamie's out of there. We might get to see her say goodbye, but they've already filmed that goodbye. But anyway, um, so she walks him to the door, and he goes, "Okay." And he goes, he reaches in to kiss her. She's like, "Oh, hey, what you doing?" And he's like, "Well, this was our first like traditional date. I thought we would end it with a traditional kiss." And she goes, "Oh, okay." And she made it seem so awkward, Ashley. So she kind of grabs his face and she kind of, okay, and she gives him a kiss. And I'm like, you are enjoying that, and you know it. Stop playing, Ashley. And so he goes, "Why, thank you, my lady." And he's smiling, and she's like, "Oh, get out of here." So she walks away from the door, and then you see his little, not cute little face, because he's not a kid, but they have him acting more kid-like, right? He comes back to the glass, and he peeks in, and he's smiling as she's walking away. He's thinking, "I'm getting to her. I'm getting to her." And I thought, yeah, you are getting to her. Keep at it. Ashley's little defenses are already gone. Just don't give up, Tucker. So then we have Lily talking to Amanda. Amanda is so worried about her friend Phyllis. She's like, "You know what? How could I just not even know that my friend is going through all of this?" And I'm thinking, because you're out of town and you don't talk to her, that's how you know. That's exactly how you know. But here's the deal: had Amanda stayed in town, Phyllis still would have spiraled. There would have been nothing Amanda could do to stop her from the spiral. So Lily's there talking to her, and kind of trying to reassure her, because Amanda's like, "The hardest thing is waiting for doctors to give you information," and yada yada yada. And she says, "Has Daniel given you an update yet?" So Lily checks her phone, and she's like, "No update." No update yet. And so Nate and Elena are at the bar, and she's like, "Lily, I know that, you're not fond of Nate, but I really need to see if there's an update. And Lily goes, no, 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 please, this is different. I completely understand. So Lily goes over there with her because Nate and Elena are talking, and they're like, well, we should call and see if there's an update from the hospital. But Elena still hadn't made that call yet. And Amanda and Lily walk over to them, and they were asking, is there any word? And Elena's saying, no, no, not yet. But, they're going to see, because the ambulance, I think she did check. And they said the ambulance for some reason hadn't arrived yet. Right. But soon as we get something, I'll let everybody know. So Amanda's saying, thank you, And then we have rushing into the room is Summer and Daniel. And so Kyle is like, Summer, what are you doing back here? And she's like, the ambulance never arrived with Mom. And they're like, wait, what? So my mother is going without medical care all this time. And so Kyle or Chance, one of the two, I think Kyle, says, well, wait a minute, weren't you following, or Chance may have said, weren't you following the ambulance to the hospital? So Daniel says, when we got out to the parking lot, the ambulance was already gone. So we headed straight to Memorial. And Summer said, my dad is even there. And we waited and waited, and no ambulance. And so she says, Daniel and I were like, we were going to come back here to see if we could find out something. And I'm thinking, well, the phone could have helped with that, right? She goes, my dad is still there waiting just to see if the ambulance arrives. So they're asking Chance, can't you please find out what's happened? We need to know what something's happened to my mother. This isn't right, right? So Chance is like, I will make some phone calls to see what I can find out, right? So they're like, good, thank you. So Chance makes a phone call, and he goes, no, the hospital's saying they've lost contact with the dispatcher. I'm going to keep seeing what information I can find out. And now everybody's talking about poor Phyllis. Michael's like, oh, I should have been more mindful of her. I should have known. Oh, yeah, right. I thought she was just drunk. And they're like, no, they smelled no, Elena and Nate are like, we smelled no alcohol, so she wasn't drunk. And they're like, Summer's like, we pushed her away and there's something wrong. And I'm thinking, yes, okay, here we go. Yes. So we have, they're waiting and frantic. We have Elena. Victoria's standing up there at the entryway. They're just looking at Nate and Elena at the bar. Just looking. And so Audra comes up. Audra. Now I see what the attraction is with them. They are so in sync. The way they handle that situation. Interesting. And Victoria's like, yes, they are. They are, they did do a good job. And so she goes, but I'm going to go check on Nate. And I thought, why, Victoria, would you feel you need to check on Nate? Why? Nate's not hurt. Elena did most of the assessing. Nate just verified. Why would you feel the need that you have to check on Nate? So Audra looks at Victoria and she goes, oh. She goes, well, my boss doesn't need me anymore. Well, her boss didn't need her at all at the gala, at all. She wasn't her boss's date. She goes, I'm going to turn it in for the night. Oh, by the way, she says, I have an interesting story idea, interesting project that I'm going to be presenting to you soon. Victoria looks at her and says, well, I look forward to hearing it. See you at the office. So we know Victoria walks right on over to Nate and Elena. And she says, you two did a great job, but Nate, I was so, see, it was a backhand to Elena, but Nate, I was so impressed, at the way you sprang into action. you know, I've forgotten your talents as a doctor. And so Elena looks at Victoria and she goes, he did spring into action, didn't he? And she puts her hand on Nate's hand. I've always felt medicine is Nate's true calling. And Victoria says, well, it's one of them. A person can have many callings. So, and like Nate's looking at Elena when she's speaking, and then he looks at Victoria when she's speaking. And then Elena, because each time Elena speaks, she puts her hand on Nate's hand and speaks and then moves it. And so then she goes, when Victoria says a person can have more than one true calling, and Elena goes, but can they? Like, I disagree, but can they? You know? So Victoria's looking at Nate, and Nate is feeling this, right? This tension kind of between the two ladies. But there shouldn't be, Nate, because you're with Elena. You better get your boss in check. Seriously, Nate. And you need to let her know. I love Elena. And I'm happy to be with Elena, Victoria. You know, and Elena is starting to question our closeness. And I don't want that to happen. So every time Elena walks away, Victoria, you can't come take her seat, right? Or she walk away and you, oh, where's Elena? No, 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 no. He's gonna have to put Victoria in check. But let's see how the whole JT thing, that'll stir up some stuff, right? Definitely stir up some stuff. So we shall see how that goes. So then I have a question, folks. If you were observing, truly observing this man, what would you think? Now, before Phyllis was carted out of there by the EMTs, my love, I'll be joining you, my love. That man never left to go to the hospital to check on his love. Never. That should have been a red flag. As a matter of fact, you see him first, he's checking his watch. It's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Stark, what is it time for something to happen? What's going on? See, Chance should have really been observing him a lot, right? And then he's on his phone texting. You know, he's either texting Phyllis, texting the ambulance, the EMTs, because I think they were in on it, the whole thing, right? Those are his people. I don't know. He's texting. Ain't left not one bit to go to the hospital. When Summer and Kyle come in frantic, he wasn't frantic, like, wait, what? My wife, my love is not at the hospital. It says you could smell some kind of setup going on, some kind of something going on. Bad plan, truly bad plan. I don't see how this is going to end up coming back on Diane at all. Horrible plan. How could Diane cause an accident and they're still at the GCAC? I don't get this. Diane couldn't have called fake EMT. I mean, they're planning to set up Diane, and I just don't see how that's going to happen. I really don't. It's a horrible plan. So Chance goes over and talks to Sharon. They do make a cute couple. They actually do. And Sharon notices Phyllis's face mask on the ground. She goes, oh, that's Phyllis's mask. Let me go pick it up. And he goes, no, Sharon, this could be evidence. So he takes a handkerchief and he covers the mask up and he picks it up because he doesn't want to contaminate it. They're probably going to find some kind of toxin on that mask. But yet still, how could they tie that to Diane? Except for the fact that they were staging stuff. But that wasn't Diane's room. That was Phyllis's room. See, all of this is not right. Because Diane now stays at the Abbott house. I don't know. I don't know. This is some kind of convoluted writing, y'all, that I can't figure this out. And I think I'm done trying figuring it out because it's just ridiculous the way they're doing it. It truly, truly is. I don't like it. It's not intriguing enough, but we shall see how they're going to let it play out. So let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Sabrina says, I really hope you feel better soon. Oh, goodness. Me too, Sabrina. I don't think the accident was part of the plan. Whatever it is, they need to finish this up, but I doubt it. Oh, that I forgot to mention. I started talking about an accident, but I forgot to mention. Chance ended up coming back in. He got a call. He ended up coming back in, said there was an accident on route whatever involving a car and an ambulance, or involving a car and it was an ambulance. So now there's going to be an ambulance, and watch, we'll see what happens, how they're going to write up whatever with this accident. Then Libby says, I so did not see this coming. But of course, Jeremy is married to Phyllis, so he can have access to her and her body in the hospital, which is true, Libby. Can't let them do an autopsy on her. Probably will claim the body and have her cremated. Ain't nobody saying nothing about Diane caught with her hands on Phyllis's neck when the EMT asked if anything happened to her. And speaking of no one said anything, how is everyone ignoring that Devon had a proven concern about the IPO creating problems for Chancellor Winters? Love the scene with Ashley and Tucker. Tucker has stolen my heart. I like Tucker too. He makes me chuckle. Sorry to hear your sinuses are still struggling. Yes, yes, yes. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I might have to finally go to the doctor to see if I can get something stronger for this situation. Lasanta says, Devon forgave Lily because she was the one being spiteful. He needed to negotiate with Jill. Why is Devon kissing Amanda's butt? He has apologized because he always wants to make the peace. Now, whatever people say about Phyllis, she played her part. Everything she said about Diane was true. Now, really, everyone feels guilty for the way they treated, but they treated her horrible. And Nick, pitiful. If you see someone in trouble, you don't just leave. I know. Nick acts like he never cared a hill of beans for Phyllis. He never cared anything for her. When on any odd year, he and Phyllis are in love back together again. She is the mother of his child. So daughter, his adult kid. But for him to just, Phyllis started, I'm out of here, instead of going over trying to talk to Phyllis, right? Nick is nowhere near one of my favorite people. It was good seeing Nate and Elena in action. Audrey could not wait to whisper that in Victoria's ear. Summer, Daniel, and Kyle have several seats. You don't care anything about Phyllis. Y'all wouldn't answer her phone calls. Kyle's a jerk. He just was telling Summer and Daniel that she crossed the line. Like Diane hasn't. Now, how did the ring get in Phyllis's hand? I don't know. Because when she came down clapping, it wasn't. It sure wasn't. I mean, where did she get the ring and when did she have time? I don't know. Diane took it out of her hand and put it on her finger. I don't know whatever's the end game. I'm so over Sally. Why are they writing Adam like this? It makes no sense. Summer called Nick, but why did he leave in the first place? I love Phyllis and want to see what's next. Lisa says, maybe there's a trace of drug on the ring. Might be. That will link it to Diane because she now has the ring. The EMT will be a witness that Diane taking the ring out of Phyllis's finger, Phyllis's hand. Libby says, maybe so. I thought the ring was supposed to connect Diane to Phyllis's death, but the ring storyline has gotten convoluted. I don't want, what its purpose is now, because Diane didn't have the ring before Phyllis got it. I know, Jack did. The writers have lost their dang minds again. Your guess would have it make sense again, except that it was in Jack's pocket. I know, I'm completely confused. Everything to me, thank you for your comments in Comment Corner. Everything to me about the setup, none of this was good to point Diane to anything, if you ask me, at all. None of it. This is just really stupidly done. So we shall see how they try to make this work. I don't know. I'm very disappointed in this whole thing. And Jeremy's so-called concern would make anybody suspicious. All they got to do is look at the video from the GCAC and see, no, this man ain't no doting, loving husband at all. He never even left to go check on his wife, ever. What was up with that? Just like he didn't even know Phyllis. So anyway, that's it for Comment Corner. That's it for the daily recap for Friday, March the 31st. I will be back on Monday with another daily recap of The Young and the Restless.